Outrage in a California school district after parents learned their children are being forced to pass a course they say is divisive and focuses on pushing a narrative of white supremacy and oppression. Joining us this morning to discuss is Parents Defending Education's Erika Sanzi. Good morning, Erika.
Good morning, Jan.
This course is a graduation requirement for students in the Oxnard Union High School District in California. Tell us about the curriculum that has parents right now riled up.
So one thing that's important to know is that the state of California now has a requirement that students take and pass an ethnic studies course. And even though districts have till 2030 to get that in place, a lot of districts already have it in place. So there are a lot of students currently in schools now where they have to take a class. And again, ethnic studies is sort of one of these courses that it sort of sounds good or at least benign when you first hear about it. But then when you dig in, you see lots of concerning content and red flags. So in this case, the class is, again, it's about white supremacy. It's about white supremacy and whiteness being a problem that because they're baked into every single system. And it talks, again, a lot about oppression. So what students are going to see is and learn is that every person either falls into the bucket of oppressed or oppressor. And the ethnic studies courses, what they do is they try to teach students, again, these aren't is not as, oh, this is one opinion, but as truth about the intersection of ethnicity and race. And so that's one of the reasons why, what the language we're hearing from students on college campuses and in some high schools in the wake of the Israel massacre is because they've put Jews in the bucket of white oppressors.
And this, again, is a requirement, the ethnic studies requirement in order to graduate from a California high school beginning in 2030. What do you think the goal is with this?
Honestly, it's so hard to even understand. I mean, what they'll tell you is, well, this is a more honest history. Gavin Newsom makes the argument that this is actually raising academic achievement. There's no evidence of that. I took a quick look just at this particular district. It looks like 30% of students are proficient in reading, 17% are proficient in math. We know they have a major absenteeism crisis. So they can pretend that these really divisive and, again, ideology-based classes are really good for kids, but the evidence seems to show the opposite is true.
And from the West Coast now to the East Coast, in Pennsylvania, parents joined students from Sun Valley High School in staging a walkout protesting boys being allowed to use the girls' restroom. What's this all about?
Yeah, so again, this is a district that has the policy that unfortunately a majority of districts across the country have, which is that students can now self-ID into whatever restroom or locker room they want. And that means that if a male says that they identify as a female, they are free to use the communal spaces designated for the girls. And understandably, a lot of female students and their parents have a big problem with this. And so some of them decided they were going to protest. And again, what's interesting here is that, well, interesting, no, what's actually terrible is the girls in this case, like, they're not asked for their consent to have males in their private spaces. This is something that they're expected to go along with, and if they're uncomfortable, they're essentially told that they're the ones that have the problem.
Then what about their individual rights? What about their privacy and their safety? What are their rights in that regard?
Well, that's the problem, right? Is that what we've seen these school districts, in the name of non-discrimination, essentially say to these girls that they don't have any rights. They say to the girls, if you are uncomfortable, you are the problem, and you can seek out alternative accommodations. So they have that's the kind of the whole piece of this, right? Is that they lose their rights so that the person who is claiming to be the opposite sex has the right to do whatever they want. And it's actually kind of inspiring to finally see some pushback. The frustrating thing, however, is I'm sure, viewers can remember after school shootings, we see walkouts all over the country, and the school supports it, and the teachers, help usher the kids out. In this case, the students were told that they couldn't walk out. They were blockaded by teachers. People claimed that doors were locked. Athletes were told that they absolutely couldn't walk out or they would face consequences with their teams. So this isn't an issue that's getting a lot of support from the administration or the staff, like so many other student walkouts, but it was still good to see students and parents to take a stand.
Parents Defending Education's Erika Sanzi, we appreciate you joining us this morning here on the National Desk. Have a great weekend.
You too, Jen. Thanks.
Thank you.